Now, there's been a lot of messed up stories that I've told you so far, and wrestling in general has a ton of absurd storylines. This one takes the cake. It's the story of Val Venis and Kai and Tai. For those who aren't familiar, Kai and Tai was a stable of wrestlers. They basically were like, hey, anyone from Japan, you're in this group. Anyone who moderately looks Asian, you're gonna be with these guys. And they made this group called Kai and Tai. And Val Venis, his character was basically a porn star. Like, he'd come out in a towel, he'd do like a sexy dance, he'd make sexual innuendos, and the women loved it. He would like have these little vignettes. They were basically just porn without penetration, and they would show them like he'd be like in a shower with someone and in a bed with someone. Like, that was Val Venis' shtick. So they show this vignette one week of Val Venis with Mrs. Yamaguchi-San. You just know that a white guy came up with that name to give to her. Mrs. Yamaguchi-San was the wife of Yamaguchi-San, he was like the manager or the leader of Kai and Tai. He wasn't a wrestler, but he was like, he wore a suit, and I guess like managing these wrestlers was his business or something. The following week on Raw, the fellas from Kai and Tai come out during a Val Venis match, and Yamaguchi-san like takes a samurai sword. The whole thing's super racist. He takes this like samurai sword and he slices a salami to signify like a wiener, you know? So the next week on Raw, it's Val Venis and Taka Michinoku, who's like the only Asian not in Kai and Tai, versus Kai and Tai, who is like Funaki and someone else. I forget their names. Taka Michinoku turns on Val Venis during the match. We find out after the fact that Mrs. Yamaguchi-san, who Val Venis slept with, was Taka's sister, you know, because they're all related. Him, the Kai and Tai boys, Yamaguchi-san, they drag Val Venis backstage and they tie him up. Like they tie up his hands with some very delicate camera work. They take a sword to Val Venis's private parts, and then it cuts to commercial right away. I'm watching this, I'm 9 years old, and I'm like, oh, the Asian men cut off the porn star's penis. That's on television for me to consume. That's why I'm here now doing this like this. We find out the following week, the big conclusion to the whole angle is that Yamaguchi-san narrowly missed Val Venis's penis. He didn't chop it off because there was a special guest present at Raw that week who turned the lights off just in time to save Val Venis and skew Yamaguchi-san's vision. It was John Wayne Bobbitt, who famously got his penis chopped off by his wife. Then it was just over, and they never brought it up again. So yeah, that's the story of Val Venis and Kai and Tai. It was a very short-lived feud with a lot of penis chopping.